Hello my loves, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're doing well. Today I'm very inspired to lift you up, to motivate you to keep working towards your goals regardless of what other people might have to say, because you're crazy until it works. And when it does, you are going to be so glad that you kept going towards this goal, that you kept that faith and that trust and the patience that it takes to really just take on any kind of project or goal or dream. Like anything that you want to follow, that your heart is guiding you to, is something that is literally written for you. And I want to today make sure that you know that you are supported by the universe and you are supported by me. And that's important, I think, because I've needed this reminder recently. I've gotten the opposite from some people who used to be in my life of just, feeling, I'm going to talk about my perspective more so because I don't know or care to know theirs, but for me it was like feeling underestimated by people in my life and just almost like insane for working towards something that I know I deserve and that I'm really passionate about. So I want to remind you that not everybody is going to root for you, and that's okay. A few months ago, I remember seeing this thing online that was like, it's so crazy to want everybody to like you or expect everybody to like you or support you when even the Buddha himself was not liked by everybody. Even, Jesus Christ was not followed by everybody. And I mean, that's a whole other conversation. But even these mystics who had such powerful messages for the world and were speaking truth and just being like prophets of the ultimate truth were not liked by everybody. And there's still non-believers. There's still people that are going to say to you that you can't do what you want to do, or that it's impossible or whatever. And what I have to say to that is that it's impossible until somebody comes along and does it and you prove everybody wrong. And please extrapolate this to any situation in your life, anything that you want to achieve, no matter how small, how big. I don't want you to lose hope, because it's so doable and it's so possible. And if you take it one step at a time and you just never quit and you believe in yourself and you don't listen to the noise and the outside voices that are trying to slow you down or that are projecting their own fears and insecurities onto you, you're going to achieve everything that you want to achieve. And the most important thing is that as you work towards achieving that thing, as you work towards building whatever it is that you want to build, it's important to enjoy the journey, because the journey is the whole thing. And when you do reach a certain point or milestone that you're happy about, you're going to have a new goal after that. And so it's really about appreciating the journey, every moment, every lesson. When I think about, for example, my university career, I was always, during my university career, looking forward to just graduating and getting that diploma. And when I did, I realized that it was never about the graduation. It was never about the achievement of being able to tell people that I have this degree. It was about the time that I spent, and every single day, even the boring days where nothing happened, every single day that I spent getting there and working to it and asking myself, did I enjoy that process? And did I enjoy those days to the best of my abilities? And if the answer to that question is no, then you can always pivot and you can always make small changes in your life that allow you to be more present as you take on this journey to building something. I have made friends on YouTube. I've talked so much about my content creation journey, and I'm honestly just even feeling emotional right now, like thinking about it. But when I first started this channel, and if you watch some of my earlier videos, I was so nervous and I had no idea what I was doing. I was promoting my videos on my personal Instagram page and just feeling so nervous about how I was going to be perceived by other people. I felt crazy. And what I've learned through all of that is that honestly, nobody cares. Like, you're going to have the people who appreciate your message and who keep watching and who care and who are tuned in. And then you're going to have the people who just don't really connect with your content. And that's fine, because you don't want to force somebody to consume content or anything, any kind of art that you've created. It's about them feeling called to it. But the confidence that I've gained from connecting with people online, not only viewers, but other fellow content creators, and like the way that it's inspired me is so insane, because there are so many people who work 9-to-5 jobs, who work a full day, get home, and then start making content, who are editing for hours on end, which props to you, because I used to do editing in my videos, and now it's more so just like my stream of consciousness and then, you know, putting it up. But it's a lot of work, and it's really like time consuming, but I think it inspires me to see especially smaller channels put themselves out there, like content creators put themselves out there in this way and say, hey, yes, I have a million things going on in my life. I'm experiencing things physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally in my personal life, but I'm still going to show up and I'm still going to be myself and create this space where it's safe for me and it's cool for me. And I've always been like a huge advocate for YouTube and having a platform, even if it's, you know, a smaller platform, even if it's a small community. I mean, you have to start somewhere, but just having a space like this is so beautiful and unique, and it just actually warms my heart, and it's changed my life personally in so many ways, like drastically. I talk a lot about spirituality and mysticism on this channel, and I had a crazy Kundalini awakening experience earlier this year, which has significantly changed my reality, my life, everything. But YouTube has been, for me, like somewhere where I could feel grounded and I could feel like connected to people who care to hear my message and who support me and who see me for who I am, that I don't have to put on this show of, you know, not like being nonchalant about life, or not wanting to express my curiosities about life, my questions about quantum physics and just what this reality is in the human game. And I will say, it is like fundamentally and paradoxically such a lonely journey to dive deep spiritually. You're kind of like diving into the void and the abyss, and it's dark at first and it's confusing and it's scary, but I think I'm feeling more and more acclimated to this just new way of living and to the esoteric world. And I want this place to be a channel where I want this place to be a space where you feel comfortable to look into these things, but also to know that like it's you following your genuine curiosity, and it's not something of, oh, I'm trying to push this message out that nobody wants to hear. You know what I mean? Like, I really create this stuff because I want it to resonate with you, and if it resonates with you, then you take what you need, you take what does stick and leave anything else that doesn't. And so I would love to hear what some of your discoveries have been about yourself recently in any way. It doesn't have to be spiritual, but just some big discovery or small that you've made about yourself in the last year. Like I mentioned, I had the Kundalini awakening, and I can make a full video about that and what that even means, and the serpent. But it's just been such a crazy journey. It's been so wild, and more than ever, I feel proud of myself, and I feel like I know who I am, and I'm learning myself as well, because I'm changing and I'm evolving and growing every day. But I just think that I've really gotten to a point in my self-confidence where if somebody tries to manipulate me or tell me that this is like their perception of me and tries to distort my own perception of myself, it's kind of like I just don't want to hear it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm open to constructive criticism, but I'm not open to an attack on my character or, you know, just judgment that is clearly a projection, right? And there's this quote that I heard. So this quote explores the concept of the looking glass self, highlighting how our sense of self is shaped by our perceptions of how others perceive us. And so the quote is, "I am not who you think I am. I am not who I think I am. I am who I think you think I am." So it's this idea of we naturally absorb other people's perceptions of us, but other people's perceptions of us are always going to be distorted because they are our perception of their perception of us, right? So it's like you create this story in your mind about what story someone else has created in their mind, as if you have access to their mind. And so it's just kind of like this weird telephone game of you trying to figure out what somebody thinks of you and maybe creating this whole personality or having all these characteristics attributed to you because you actually believe that this is what other people believe about you. And it's super weird and just very trippy to think about. But I think the reason that this quote really hit hard for me is that other people's perceptions of you will never, ever matter. They will never matter, and it's about what you believe about yourself. It's about when you go to sleep at night, how do you feel in your heart and in your soul about the person that you've been that day, and how can you improve the next day, and being patient with yourself and being kind and patient with those around you. And it's not always easy because we're human and we can get triggered and we can revert back to old ways because we have a situation that reminds us of something that happened in the past, and then we react exactly the same way that we did in that past situation. So these triggers are constantly happening, but it's about like catching them when you can and just choosing to make a different decision and seeing where that takes you. You know, like there have been situations, for example, earlier in my life where I would be triggered by something and my reaction would be to maybe like talk back to somebody or just get really angry, you know, and want to like get revenge on someone. But I feel like, and this is very situational, so it's kind of vague how I'm explaining it, but like now in certain situations that are similar to that original traumatic event, I would think, okay, instead of maybe acting out or seeking revenge, I will just let it go. Like let that situation go and walk away and protect my peace, right? And I also think that that's really the best revenge, is no revenge. Even though it's hard and it's like actually like, you know, infuriating at first because you want to defend yourself or whatever, but it's like the best revenge is silence and protecting your energy and choosing to just move on, because that's the hardest thing to do. It's the hardest thing to do. And our egos will fight with us as we go. You know, it's like an angel and a devil thing. The higher self wants to move on and understands that this was all created for you to grow, and then the ego, the lower self, whatever, wants to fight back and wants to feed into those like animalistic kind of instincts and, you know, we all know how the ego is. So yeah, I thought that was a really fun quote to share and just a cool perspective to share. And I want you to remember that the only opinion that matters is your own. Keep doing the things you love, keep creating the things you love, and don't let other people's projections scare you out of doing things that make you happy, right? It's hard and it takes courage, but you can do it, and I'm with you. I'm doing it every single day. Show up as much as you can and do it with a brave face on. Sometimes it's literally hard for me to leave the house, and I just am scared because I don't know what's going to happen when I step out there. And the way that I think about it is it's like diving into an infinite ocean. It's like every day that I wake up, I just dive into this infinite ocean of consciousness, if you will. And I have to like navigate all of these situations and circumstances, and it's like scary, and I don't know what to do because sometimes I get triggered. Like I get triggered emotionally by things that happen. Like yesterday I was walking down the street and this guy, he was like homeless, but he like said to me, "You're the biggest shit disturber of all time." Like, he said that to me, and obviously he doesn't know me. Like, it was just, I think, you know, he wasn't well, but like, I got triggered from him saying that, because then I started going down like all these things of like, oh my god, wait, is this how I feel about myself? Like, is this why that was reflected in my outer reality? Because I am such a believer in the Carl Jung's philosophies of the inner essence creates the outer world. So I just always kind of look at these messages in my outer world and think like, okay, where did this come from? So it was triggering, and it's like things like that, experiences like that you just don't expect, especially when they're like, you know, loud or whatever it might be, and when they connect to traumatic events that have happened when you were younger. It was just, it can be hard to face the world, but I promise you, if you do and you show up as your best self, you will be proud of yourself, and you will be happy, and you will allow yourself to have new experiences that your higher self wants for you and is literally sketching out for you as you go along your life. So yeah, just be brave. You got this, and it's never as scary as it seems. I know sometimes it seems horrifying, but that's also sometimes just mind games. So yeah, you got this. I love you so much. Please, please, please share with me what you're working on lately. What are you doing to make yourself happy and to pass the time? Or something big that you're working on, small, whatever it is. I would love to hear it. And I will see you in the next video. Like this video if you enjoyed. Subscribe to the channel for more spirituality and self-mastery content. And I love you so, so, so much.